Konnichiwa! I want to explain to you today Japanese honorifics or suffixes to names that is commonly used in Japanese society. You can hear it when you watch Japanese dramas, anime especially, manga, all that kind of media, and just normal life. Some examples, like you might hear, is sensei or chan, and so I'm going to just briefly discuss each one because some people actually don't really know the differences. The first main one that is basically more generally used is san. You add san to the end of a person's name that indicates you showing like respect, politeness, and it's kind of the English equivalent of Mr. or Miss or Mrs. So if you would refer to me as respectfully, you would call me Kelly-san. If you didn't really know someone, you would probably call them san at the end of their name, especially their last name specifically. If you're more closer, you use the first name, but that's kind of a more in-depth explanation. But anyways, so if you add san at the end, it shows respect, shows that you're being polite, if you don't know the person well, stuff like that. A less commonly used one, but you may have heard it here and there, is sama. An example, if you watch Inuyasha, it says Shomaru-sama. The equivalent would be like Lord. It shows a lot of respect for that person that you are adding that to the end of the name of. It's not very much used, but if you want to show extreme respect, you can do that even with like your father and say Oto-sama. But it's not very commonly used. But you can hear in anime and so forth. More commonly used one is kun. Kun is typically added at the end of boys' names. So if you had Takashi-kun, it is just like a friendly way, being more informal than san. It's used to refer to someone with lesser status than you, especially used among friends. So a group of friends, when they're closer, more closer people, add kun at the end. Or if you're a girl, typically you will be referred to as chan. So I said earlier, I could be Kelly-san, but if you know me more and feel more comfortable around me and think that I'm okay with it, you can call me Kelly-chan. And chan is just like a cute name at the end. Actually, all children are kind of referred to as chan until the boys get to a certain age, but girls typically will have that for a long time. And it's just basically a term of endearment and can also be applied to animals. So if you have a cute little dog named Yoshi, like mine, Yoshi-chan, very cute. Another one that you hear all the time is sensei. Yes, everybody knows that sensei means teacher, but it can also be applied to doctors, lawyers, politicians, higher, more educated people, I suppose you could say. And also it can be applied to people who have met a certain degree of mastery in something, maybe art. Like manga artists can be referred to as sensei a lot. Martial arts teachers, stuff like that. Sensei will be used to describe them. It's a definitely polite way to refer to someone. A couple other terms you can hear or call people in society. If it's someone that is a female that is older than you, you can refer to them as one-san, which just means older sister. It seems kind of weird to call someone who isn't your older sister, but it's just like a broad term, like someone's older sister, you can refer to them as that way. And you can also refer to an older male figure as oni-san. If you talk to a person that is a male that's a generation above you, you can refer to him as uncle, and that would be oji-san. Or if he's an elderly man, you can refer to him as oji-san, which is grandfather. So even though they're not your uncle or grandfather, you can refer to them that way, especially if you don't know their name. It's just kind of like a term you can call them. As well as oba-san for aunt and oba-san for grandmother. So you can refer to them as that even if they're not related to you. Another honorific that's used in school is senpai. You may hear that a lot in anime or whatever you subjected to Japanese culture. It refers to a classmate that is your superior, grade above you, grade 2 above you, and it is kind of a way to show respect. And actually the reverse term is kohai, but it's not as much used as senpai. So that is just a few honorifics or suffixes to names that you will come across and experience when you're speaking the language. And if you ever go to Japan, you'll hear it a lot. And it's good to know the difference of levels between politeness and formality between the names so that you don't offend anyone or make anyone feel uncomfortable when you talk to them. Typically, when people meet you, they'll probably call you by your last name with san at the end, but you can also urge them to refer to you as your first name or whatever to show that you are comfortable with them. Unless, if they're not comfortable, that's a different story. So that's it. And actually, if you watch anime and you're reading translated kind that have the words at the bottom, sometimes the translation, they try to do the English equivalent and they don't put the suffixes at the end, which I feel like is a bummer because you can't see how close they feel to the other character. Try to listen for it, and actually you can learn a lot more about the characters that way. Extra! If you have watched or read Fruits Basket, good for you. If not, you better, because it's really good. Anyways, the three main characters are Toru Honda, Yuki Soma, and Kyo Soma. And the way they refer to each other kind of tells about them. Toru refers to Yuki as Soma-kun. So his last name was Kun. So it's still polite because it's his last name. And initially she refers to Kyo as Kyo-san. So the san at the end shows politeness, but in the third episode he's like, don't add san at the end. I don't like that. So she calls him Kyo-kun. And actually when Toru first says Yuki-kun to Yuki, he blushes and it's really cute, and it actually is a really good anime, so please watch it if you haven't. So anyway, Jamata. Ba Yuki Kyo Toru